AITAH for not regretting divorcing my wife because Daurg's son is not mine? I try to make it as short as possible. So me and my ex-wife Mary, real name cause I don't care if she finds out, have been together for 5 years and married for 2. Our relationship was mostly fine and we always had only one major issue. She cheated on me when we were together since 3 years, and after a lot of therapy I decided to forgive her and she to work harder for our relationship. It wasn't an easy decision at all, but I loved her more than myself and I decided to forgive her. Then since things were going great and she changed from therapy, I decided to marry her and she accepted. It was the best day of my life, even thought that my friends told me that I was insane to marry her because of her cheating and her past. She have a very high body count of over 100, but I loved her anyway, unfortunately. My friends didn't showed up for my wedding because they were extremely skeptical, but I didn't cared because I was too happy. Her parents too were happy that we worked things out, and the whole wedding and honeymoon was just amazing, and it was like I was leaving in one of those fairy tales. Then after a year of marriage she became pregnant and I was super happy to start a family with her, and the whole pregnancy went smoothly. But then when Daurg's son was born, something was wrong cause he didn't look like me at all and had just small things of my wife, but really nothing like me. I started thinking at it and some things were off, like her announcement of pregnancy. When she told me that she was 4 weeks pregnant, I didn't had sex with her for 2 weeks because I was in another country for the sign of a very big client, and then when I asked my wife to be there when she was about to give birth, she hesitated but told me yes. So after thinking again and again at all the wrong things, I did something that I don't regret. I took Maya's son for a DNA test while my wife was at work and I was at home with Maya's son. After a week the results came back and my worst nightmare became reality cause he wasn't my son. The same day I immediately contacted my lawyer, and after explaining him the whole situation he started to prepare the divorce papers. So after a month I served them to my ex-wife and told her that I knew that Daurg's son wasn't mine, so to don't make things complicated and to just sign the papers. The drama started and she started to cry, beg me to not divorce her, telling me that she would become better, that we could put Daurg's son for adoption, that she made a mistake, and all the classic excuses of a cheater. But I put my feet down and told her that I couldn't change idea after I already forgave her once. After 2 hours of this pathetic scene she finally signed the papers and packed her stuff. She called her dad crying and telling him to pick her up, but without telling him what happened. While we were there waiting for him, she was crying and begging me to forgive her, that she would become better, but I just ignored her, and when her dad arrived he asked what the hell was going on and I showed him the results of the DNA test. He started yelling at her and was extremely mad and angry for what she did, and finally they drove away to her parents' house. Fortunately in our country the divorces under 5 years are quickly, so in a few months we were divorced and she got nothing from me, not even alimony or any type of it. The thing is that in those days and even now I never cried, shouted or did any of these things, but I just feel broken and empty inside, like this thing changed something in me. Obviously my friends, when they knew about this, were happy and started to tell me the classic "I told you so," and thinking at it now they were right, but I was blindsided in love with her that I didn't understood the whole mess. Months passed by since the divorce and I still feel like an empty and broken human, but I don't regret doing the DNA test because my worries were right. Now the issue is that a few days ago I met some of me and my ex-wife mutual friends, and we talked a bit about our life changes and obviously about the whole mess, and they told me that my ex-wife is depressed, sad, and that the AP disappeared, leaving her to stay at one of their house, and they asked me if I regret the divorce, but I told them absolutely not, because I forgive once but not twice, and not a big thing like baby trapping. They called me heartless and cold for not thinking at her even once, and the baby is 1 year old now, because according to them she still cry for me and still punish herself for what she did because she really regret her actions. So AITAH?